Right, guys, welcome back. This is Above Average FPL. My name's Adam, and as always, joined by Baker. Evening, mate. How you feeling?
I'm feeling fresh, mate. You?
I'm feeling better now. Yeah, much better now.
We were up early.
Mate, I was up at 4:45. 4:45.
Even after a fireball stream, I can't train it out of myself that after football, I've managed to have some kind of in-trained alarm clock that wakes up at 6 o'clock on the dot if match of the day is ready to watch. No alarm, not even where I need to or not. But I know that if I can get up at 6, I can pretty much get it in before Eddie wakes up. So I was like, still up. I was like, yeah, I'm sneaking out. And then I checked my phone and you had messaged me like 20 minutes earlier. I thought, oh, he's up.
I'd already had a bacon sandwich by then, mate. I'd literally, so literally, I go downstairs after the stream yesterday, and yeah, wife calls me an idiot. Obviously, I actually eat dinner, so I'm not drinking now. I'm not drinking.
I'm having a whiskey.
So I actually eat dinner, which I didn't realize until I saw a photo of me eating dinner this morning. I actually took a photo of myself eating dinner. I have no idea why, but it proved that I ate dinner last night, which was good. And then I messaged some rubbish in the WhatsApp chat to you and to the group, and then I woke up at 11:30. That's what I remember.
What time do you think you were asleep?
Oh, like 7:15, 7 o'clock, something like that. like I've got messages from WhatsApp from like 10 to 7, and then I've got nothing until about 11:30. So I'm assuming 7 o'clock. That was it. I was done, and I just fell asleep behind me here on the sofa bed, which was
I knew you'd got to sleep because obviously golf was on, and I was like, okay. I felt I was okay, but look, tonight we are doing season review, and this is period of reflection. I enjoy periods of reflection. You're not a reflector.
I'm not
this world.
I am basically like, tell me what I did wrong. Tell me how to do it better next time, and I'll probably not do it like that anyway.
Well,
maybe.
If there's one thing I learned from the fireball stream. So there were two things that I did wrong last year when we did this. One is I didn't eat enough beforehand, and secondly, I was so concentrating on the fireball that what I didn't think about was the beer. And we like an IPA, we like all that stuff. IPAs have such a variance in terms, like very much like FPL, they have a huge variance in terms of their percentage.
Yeah.
So I checked the alcoholic volume of each of those, and I made sure nothing was above 4.5% that I had. And I went very slowly on the beer.
Yeah.
What percentage was your last beer, Adam?
It was 7.7. It was 7.7. So
Everyone thinks it's the fireballs.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
not the
So I started
fireball.
off with the Beavertown. I've still got one here. 4.3%. And then I bought something called Immortal. It was like a mango hazy sour type thing. It's really, really nice.
Big can.
Big can. But yeah, full of alcohol. So that didn't help. I think last year I drank a lot of water actually, which I think helped.
Yeah.
And I don't think
I
I drank
bought
any.
two bottles of water, drunk hardly any beer,
Yeah, no.
and it made life a lot simpler. So I came downstairs and I was like, I've got to hold this together. Got to hold this together. I'm okay. And then the wife was like, can I watch my programs? Because I kind of thought you'd be able to, like, yeah, 3 episodes of Bridgerton. That's what I sat through last night. But I tell you what, if you need to serve you up 3 hours of Bridgerton, mate, that'll get you.
That'll get you.
Got to the old mid-season finale. I was right in it.
Oh well, I was already. Yeah, no, I was dreaming by then, mate. I was dreaming by then.
So how
So
did we do?
how did we do? Let's have a look. Because I don't remember this bit yesterday, and I've actually watched the last 15 minutes of the stream from last night, and it is, quite frankly, a disaster class from myself. I was definitely in a much better state last year. I was in a much better state last year for sure,
Mate,
and I was bad
your
last
last
year.
15 minutes was still better than my last 15 minutes in the year before. So we're 1-1. 1-1.
Yeah.
Next year is the decider.
I did. Did you enjoy? Did you enjoy the little summary that Grant posted on X? I mean, he posted a fantastic summary of.
Fantastic summary.
Like, when you start swearing at Eze for scoring the goals and stuff like that.
When I must admit, I looked at it and then I thought, I don't know if I want to read it. Like almost like a drunk text. I'm like, I'm not sure I want to look at that. Oh, okay, it's okay.
I was kind of like, did I actually say that? Did we say that? And then the realization that we did actually say those things.
I mean, did you by any chance watch back when you left at halftime?
No. Oh, I need to do that.
You should do that. Just see how long it is that I just forgot that you'd gone.
But this has happened before. I'm sure we've done this on a stream before where you've just like basically sat there. It might have been like a Champman stream or something. You just sat there on your phone forgetting that actually you need to talk.
I'm just the wheel me out. Like, this is it. I don't have any, I'm not the presenter here. That's your job, mate. I'm the co-host. So if this is we've said it many times. If you're not here, there's no pod. It's the same deal. You disappeared, and it's like I'm like, nah. I just play on my phone, and then I just sort of called them. I check chat, and they were like, Baker, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm still.
You're live. I mean, if you'd have frozen, I mean, you'd have been screwed. They'd just sat there for 5 minutes. It would have just gone.
But for those that were on, they then got to hear my my skincare routine.
Yeah, because
they benefited. Other than that,
I'm trying to work out when we might have said we might have foreskins. I don't really understand that one.
I think I wanted to say foresight, and I think I might have said foreskins.
Okay.
I definitely said foreskins when I meant to say foresight.
I've often wondered how often these streams should occur. The answer is not many. And then
not many.
The fact that we can recall that is genuinely a miracle. I'm trying to work out what that was about. I've just tried to open this bottle with no cap on. I actually woke up and that Fireball bottle still had no cap on it.
Yeah, that was the problem. Nothing happened for us really, did it?
No.
Last day of the season.
64 points for me. So for those listening on audio, Raya in goal, Pedro Porro's 14-pointer, which was nice. I mean, I saw a few people benching Porro, and I honestly I just didn't understand it.
Like, well, I think it was this is Porro's revenge for me. This is Porro's revenge for me. So my sole reason for not getting Vardio in 37 was I refused to bench Porro in 38. I was like, I'm not doing it, and I don't want to split Arsenal defense. So I'm not getting Vardio. That was my whole purpose. I still lost because Vardio got so many points. But but I do get it. The idea of playing four at the back in the last day of the season just feels icky. It feels icky. Um, but Mateta, the big hero for you, and
Yeah,
the Salah cap, fine.
Salakat was fine. Like, yeah, so Porro, Gabriel, Vardiol at the back, Bruno, nothing. I mean, got injured is what it is.
Mm.
Son, Palmer, and Salakat. I mean, like, if I mean, I have watched the highlights back, and then I have seen the underlying data. It's just sickening the fact that they put together 5 xg. He had like 1.3 of it, and only got 12
I
points.
am going to caveat that Salah was also crap. Like, let's not forget in our brains that Salah was crap.
Well, we would have forgotten this by. It won't matter in August anyway because he'll be in Saudi or something. So,
Probably. Like
so
the stats are still going to say he was doing the stuff, but realistically, he was doing the stuff badly.
yeah, so Mateta I brought in for Isak. So, it is what it is with that. Actually, I came out net positive on my transfers, so I'm fine with that. And obviously, Jackson, Haaland do nothing. I get 6 points from Richards on the bench. Contemplated playing a 4-4-2 at some point, but never really got there. So 64 net points, 825k
Yeah.
is what it is.
If I'm going to learn from this last, what do we do in the last game of the season? That I probably, hindsight's always a wonderful thing on Isak, isn't it? Type stuff. But once we knew Isak was starting and we knew Wilson wasn't starting, and there's no Gordon, realistically, it was going to all be about Isak, wasn't it? And we knew Isak was going to be half as owned as what he was going into the game week. I probably should have hedged some bets and played Isak over Jackson rather than do the double up on Chelsea.
Mm.
I should. I didn't think about it. I wasn't in that, so I've got to try and work out how to get myself into that position of if that play them all out. I'd spent all week thinking that I was going to bench Isak because I didn't fancy them at Brentford. But yeah, if I was, obviously a lot of people benefited from the Isak points either directly because they played him or indirectly. I mean, virtually every
Saka auto subs everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I pointed out to our friend FPL Richard today. He mentioned about Isak once, and I was like, you realise obviously that auto subs. There's two other things at play with that because nobody who wildcarded in 35 had Saka, which means that the majority of people that got the Isak auto subs also free hitted in 34.
Yeah.
And also wildcarded earlier. So had Isak points beforehand.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of those, and we'll talk about those a bit more, but there's been a few where the path has just paid and paid and paid and paid and paid. There's been repeat jackpots all over the place this season, and that will make all of our emotions, whether we think we've done brilliantly, whether we think we've had a bad season and all the bits in between. There's definitely some paths which I think people should pay attention to as to what happened in their season that will really frame a lot of it. I think it's really easy to just think about the individual players and everything of what's done, but the paths dictated it a lot. Like for you,
Yeah.
I just want to ask this one. So Vardy, let me give you an example. Do you remember when you got Vardy in?
Like 32? Something
Do you remember the background to getting Vardy in?
Yeah, I was lazy and just went onto FPL review and just checked and just
Okay.
did the transfer that it told me to do. I genuinely did. For some reason that week.
And why did it tell you to do that?
I don't know.
It told you it because you'd already wildcarded.
Yeah.
They knew that there was doubles coming for City.
Yeah, true.
And it was in a week where review was already planning to the end of the season. And it was like, you're going to need a City defender between now and the end of the season. You might as well do it now.
Yeah.
And it'll give you something that while people that say, for example, me, who didn't have free hit and was going to wildcard in 35, going to Vardy was weird because you're going to somebody that you didn't really want in 34 and then you could get him if you wanted to at 35.
Yeah.
So there was no reason to go for him early. But that path of what you did is you chose the wild card when you did, and then you didn't have the free hit for later.
Yeah, it was like
Bardiol became
City
that perfect
defender.
path.
Makes sense.
Those things happened all season. There was lots of those, and we should probably, like I say, I think for me, one of the big things to look at is what's the path I'm taking, because the players, it's really easy for us to sit on this and go, right, who's the best keeper? Who do we get if they're this cheap and this price and all that sort of stuff? There's a lot that can be happening between now and game week 1.
Yeah, and
There's
the
so
paths are going to be
much that can
dictated
happen.
by the fixtures, right? They're really going to be dictated
Exactly
by the fixtures. So we can't really do anything
No.
until we know what teams are playing when. And Champions League is going to be interesting for that as
Yeah.
well, in terms of recovery time for teams and squads and stuff like that. Yeah.
Should we do the people that did better than us? Should we do our league updates?
Well, let's do our league updates. Yeah, let's do that. So we can move on to that. So for everyone on the YouTube, you can see I've got our public league on the left and a Discord league on the right. And so Divine Precious, whoever you are, young and restless, 2,697 points. Topped our league, about 34th in the world, I think it was. 34th. So shout out to you. Dan Simpo second, John O'Shea third, Louis Porter fourth, well, joint third, actually. Sen Vossen fifth, Aaron Butler sixth, James Melly seventh, Christian Lariche eighth, Arush Jamadar in ninth, and Dan Hegarty in 10th. Well done to you. And of course, our guys in Discord, so thank you to those that do support us on Discord. Erky smashed it. He got a Saka to Isak auto sub last week, but smashed it. 86 points this week. He finished on 2,680. Finished in about 84th, I think it is, 84th or 86th, one of the two. Sam Carr second, Simon Walker third, Kevin Kehoe in fourth, Philippe Storas in fifth, Gary Fitzgerald in sixth, Sean Thompson seventh, Jonathan Cohen eighth, Darren Maiden ninth, and Dan Hibel, Crypto Block Dan, in 10th.
Our boy Crypto Block Dan beat us.
He's come in. He said, lads, I want to support you. How do I play this game? We've gone, Dan, this is how you play the game. And he's gone, cool, thanks, lads. Now I'm going to beat you.
I mean, that's advocate enough that, we haven't signed contracts yet, but that's advocate enough. Surely, Dan, that you're coming back in for another year.
I think so.
Chat should let Dan know that he should definitely come back for another year.
I think so. Keeps
us independent.
Keeps us independent. Love it.
Well done all. Incredible seasons.
Yeah.
Incredible seasons.
Well done to everyone.
Yeah.
Smashed it.
So.
Before we move on, we're going to do the YouTube thing. Because if you do like what we're doing and you did enjoy the stream yesterday and you enjoy the stream today, please make sure you drop a like on the video. And if you want to see more from us, make sure you hit subscribe. Let us know in the comments how you got on this season. Did you hit your rank targets, all that sort of stuff? If you want to give us more shit over the Ange opinion that we had, do that. If just throw some comments down there. Let us know how any feedback or anything like that as well. You can just let us know down there. We're always looking to improve, and we will be back, as you said, next season, which is great because it's just fun just chatting on a Sunday evening.
Let's do some Spurs predictions. We can frame it.
Spurs predict. Okay. What's the first question? Like
league placing this time next season.
Let's go third.
Let's go third. I'm in on it.
Yeah.
I'll take third. Take third right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd take fourth. Probably take fifth.
You wouldn't take fourth though, not based on what happened this year. Like we would have.
Yeah.
Seeing as it turned out, if we'd have beaten City on that Tuesday, we'd have qualified for the Champions League.
I know.
I know. It is always. But at the same time, if Villa needed points from yesterday, like they wouldn't have got smashed 5-0. Like John McGinn was out on the piss just on like Thursday night. He was just having a laugh, and he still rocked up and played. So,
absolute animal. How many goals will Son score next season?
Son will score Premier League
Yeah,
17.
it's good. 15. 15.
Okay. I still think he's going to be really,
Those
really
things.
important. I think that he'll still be the penalty taker as well next year.
I think the fact that we've just announced a tour of Korea
Yeah.
kind of locks on that Son's in the plans.
Yeah. Well, he was made captain this year as well. There's no way he's going anywhere.
Yeah, kind of locks on that he'll
Not
be
yet.
captain again next season. Does kind of lock on
He's
that.
going to go back to Germany at some point, though, isn't he? He wants to go back. I think
Yeah.
to was he Leverkusen, wasn't he? No.
Well, Werder.
Werder Bremen?
I want to say Werder.
Can't remember.
I genuinely can't.
We can't remember where we got him.
Because he's ours now. Who's going to be our striker next? Do you think Richie will be our striker next season?
No.
No, I don't.
No.
I did find interesting watching Kulusevski, watching the highlights. It looked like it was almost like Kane was back in our team, but the idea of a man that is more of a physical presence is a bit or like I did watch it and thought I could imagine this being Dom Solanke. I did. It wouldn't surprise me if we go back and try and push for that.
Do you think Bergvall starts the first game?
No.
Okay.
I would love to see him in pre-season though.
Yeah. Be very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
He was at Leverkusen.
It was Leverkusen. Okay. Well, they're getting quite good. So
they're quite good.
They're quite good now. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start with you want to tell me about the leagues, or should we have a look at how lucky you've been, or
do the optimized. So do yours first.
Oh, okay.
Do mine first. Mine first.
Okay.
Yours first.
Yours first. Go.
Okay. So you're going to see a lot of these on Twitter. They're always out on this. And I think I like looking at these, and I like doing this bit. So we talk about me and Adam talk about this stuff very often. We like to talk about I like to talk to Adam about the coloured square leadership management nonsense stuff. Where for anyone that does or doesn't know this, basically you can plot most people into a four box grid with you plot an axis with task from sort of top to bottom, like the most task focused people at the top, sort of the most people based people at the bottom, and then introvert to the left to extrovert to the right. And the top left people, the people that are sort of more tasky, more introverty, are very they're thinkers, analytical, some might say, is their world, that they work more in that thought process. The top red, they are
top right.
They're the doers. Top right. They're the doers. The red people. Adam is very much the red person. We would not survive in a podcast if we didn't have a red person to do it, because we have very short time and we need someone to get it done, and he gets it done. It suits us, works in a very, very big way. The bottom right is your yellow. They are kind of like, they're more competitive because they're extra. They want to win, but they want to beat the people. So they're yellow.
Yeah.
And the green, they're kind of the thoughtful people. They're like, you don't see many of them in FPL because they're more like the what about the children type people. They're the nice people. They work in HR and all those areas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I spent a lot of time in my life in red. And I kind of, as I got older, moved a lot more to blue. My work-wise moved a lot more to needing to spend time in blue. So like I'm a blue pervert, but really there's a lot of red in me. You're just straight red.
Yeah.
And the reason you hate doing this reflection stuff is because you don't want to do the thinking. You just want to know what's going to get, either I want to blame what didn't work out for me, or I want to work out what did. And you don't want to spend a lot of time looking at it. So when you see these graphs of other people, you just look at the result and it will be like, blue's above the line, lucky pricks. Blue line, well, that's just like me. Now, the fact is, we have not had the luck this season. I should have, against the average prime manager, sort of plus 12 or something like that points. And I've got minus 30. So I'm 40 points down on where I should be. I've seen people that are in the top 1K that have expected less than me and are in the top 1K. Like, it's painful. Flip to your one.
Oh, mate, you catch me mid-drink there. Okay.
Flip to your
my
one. So you were expected to be 40 points down on the Prime Manager.
Yeah.
That's what you expected to be.
And I
You've
finished
ended
about,
up
I finished about 180 points behind.
180.
Yeah.
So you are 100. So I was 40 points down. You're 140 points down on where you should be.
Yeah, basically. So
And
I feel hard done by.
you're definitely hard done by. There's no doubt both of us have got some hard done byness. The first thing though that both of us can work on is the yellow line. We can work on the yellow line because we can be better. I can be better, and I have been better than 10 points above expected. You can definitely be better than 40 points above the expected. And what you will notice in a lot of the ones where you see they've had a really good season, in particular, your analytical managers, they might be plus 40, plus 50, plus 60 on the expected, and their outcome is plus 180. And that's this season. Yeah, is there are places where playing in an analytical way, playing to beat the prime, playing to continually grind that expected value every single week has worked incredibly well. If you just ignore the blue line happened and you said, would you be happy every season going in and being 40 points below the expected of the prime manager? No, we're too competitive for that. Let's get ourselves to a position where we are 30, 40 points above the expected. We then get unlucky. We can kick shit. We can throw toys. We can never play again. It doesn't excuse the fact that you could easily take a naught off your score and be reflective of where you're at. But the fact is, we should be aiming for better than around the prime manager.
I accept that to some extent. At the same time, my mind leans into the fact that this is a game for fun. So at the same time, do I want to spend time grinding on a game for fun? Look, if you want, we can make comparisons to things like poker, where there's, where it makes perfect sense to, follow expected value because you're talking about money, right? And money is an important thing in the world. Whereas an FPL rank is literally like no one gives a shit. Like, just quite frankly, no one gives a shit. Apart from the people in our,
because we do turn up twice a bloody week.
Yeah, but like, I would, to some extent, I'd much rather be the guy that captained Vardiol for 54 points than the guy that captained Haaland for 60 when everybody else captained Haaland for 60. So, my mind, like, no one else can say they captained Vardiol for 54 points this year.
Correct.
No one. Well, there's probably a few, but like.
So, do you want to give that up?
What, the Vardiol caps?
Years. Nah, yeah, exactly. Do you want to give that up?
No.
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 Neither should you. Neither should you. You absolutely should. But we have two ways of attacking this game. We attack through the players that we pick. I can almost say three ways. We attack through the players that we pick, we attack through the players that we captain, and we attack through our strategy around chips.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can work with that. Yep.
That's how we play.
Yep.
This is how you play. Yeah. Is you attacked all three. Is you didn't play standard chip strategy for the season.
No.
You didn't do the standard picks, and you didn't do the standard caps. So therefore, you probably will come slightly under the prime, with the possibility that you could do anything from -150 below to 150 above,
Yeah.
depending on outcome. That's cool. But it's like, understand that there is 3 different ways and you attack them on. What we've seen this season, 100% seen this season, is the chip strategy has allowed people to do whatever they like, really. If you went in on the chip strategies that have paid unbelievably well, you can genuinely have done whatever you like this season. So what I mean by that, if you did your first wild card between 8 and 10, if you did your triple captain in 25, if you did either free hit in 29 or free hit in 34, they've not been the actual total constraints. But if you free hit it in 29 and then wild carded in 35 and then bench boost in 37, so wild card 8, triple captain 25, yeah, free hit 29, wild card 35, 37, that's been solid. If you did 8 to 10, you didn't free hit in 29, you wild card in 30, 31, you free hit in 34, you benchmark 30, you've smashed it. You've smashed it. You genuinely, you find me someone that hasn't smashed it, that's done that. They've all smashed it.
Yeah.
Because in 30, 31, the Isaks, the Vardiols, all those type of people, and then the free hit in 34, it's enough. It's enough. Anybody who's done that has smashed it. Anybody that anybody that's gone into those kind of worlds, that they have annihilated it, whether they were above it or not. I saw, do you know FPL Bateman?
Yes, I do.
FPL Bateman. So he tweeted earlier, and I messaged him about it because basically his graph in terms of its expected is very similar to yours. In fact, his expected ended up -60.
Okay.
At no point all season was he above it. He came 2K. He wildcarded in 8. He wildcarded in 30. He free hit in 34. In 34, do you know who he captained?
Matata?
Brereton Diaz.
Oh, Brereton Diaz, who got 1 goal, did he?
1 goal. I think he got up 10 points.
Yeah.
He played Craig Dawson 6 times
As you do.
in the season. But the point is that chip strategy, he was like, you're not beating me on that. I'm not actually gonna, offer up that you can take me down in other places. I'm just going to be okay in that space. And then what that will allow me to do is just be a madman in all the other places. And then he, to be fair, he tweeted and said, like, I was the luckiest man on earth. But the first thing I look at when I look at these graphs is what's the chip strategies at the top. Because if you go to mine, this is where I've been stupid, because the only one that's really controllable is that first one. It's completely controllable, isn't it? When you do that first wild card, everything else sort of sets off as you go along, but that first one is controllable. And up to after game week 5, I'm above the expected. I'm playing above the expected. I've got a nice little cross.
Yeah.
I've played it. And what I've done is I've gone 2 weeks earlier than everybody else. And everybody else has got 2 weeks worth of decisions on me, 2 weeks more worth of info. We had a huge amount of hamstring injuries were happening everywhere. Some people went off Haaland in game week 8. That paid really well. The ones that went Haaland to Salah in game week 8. I kept him. I fought against injuries. I ended up taking loads of hits to try and keep up with the people that were wild carded in 9 and 10 and 11. I stuffed it out the gate. So even when I played pretty well after that, if you look at my expected from game week 20 onwards, it's just a steady climb. I've done really well in how I've played, but I stuffed it early on. And if I'm going to take one thing from it, and then what I did to try and get back was I played effectively the Dullard chip line. And the Dullard chip line was free hit in 29 in the blank, wild card in 35, and bench boost face, my season had gone. I didn't, I'm a dullard manager. So for you, you want to be able to do the extravagant captains, the extravagant picks. Look at where your chips are, strategies are. For me, who isn't ever going to be out, like, I didn't gamble. I don't gamble. Like, even last game of the season, I still did Haaland because it's how I like to play the game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a good gambler. So why on earth did I gamble with the first bloody wild card? It makes no sense for me to have done that. So, and it set off this horrendous ripple effect that just peeled from the ceiling. And I could say, look, I got incredibly unlucky between game week 6 and game week 16. But realistically, I opened up the opportunity to it. And the more you look around at how some other players have done in this space, it really shows. So have you got our league table?
This one, yeah.
So I looked at our public league. I looked at public league, top 10 in our public league. So there's no names on it, but these are where they've ended up. So out of the 10 people, top 10, 9 of them wildcarded in 8. Pretty good. It's pretty conclusive. And the other one captain wildcarded in 10. Nobody. No one went early.
No.
In our world. In fact, the interesting part, one of the bits that made me sort of realize this is our friend Zoff. Zoff wildcarded same week as us. He went early. He had a really good season, 6K. But he flexed the back half. He got sexy at the end. He knows it. He's a battle-hardened warrior, mate. It's his 8th top 10K finish, right? He got aggressive, was like, under no circumstance. We kept getting injuries, and he was like, under no circumstances am I free in at 29. I just won't watch that week's telly. I'm just not going to watch that weekend's football. I just won't do it. And then I'll wildcard in 30. I'll attack it, and I'll free hit in 34. Paid unbelievably. I couldn't flex the way that I played, compared to that. If we look at wildcard 2, so we've got, in terms of that sort of 28 to 31 place, even the 27 there, we've got 3 that wildcarded in 35. Everybody else wildcarded between 27 and 31. The important ones is the people that wildcarded early. Guess what they all did?
Yeah, the free
hit in 34.
Which is what I didn't do. So I wildcarded 27. So I didn't set myself up right for the free hit.
If you add 50 points to your score right now, mate, it's an okay season.
Yeah.
If you wildcarded 2 weeks bloody later for the first one, and then free hit in 34 for all of the horribleness that you've been dealt, it would have been masked.
No, it would have been. It would have been
masked. These paths won't always pay this way, by the way. This has been a season where some set paths have just incredibly paid. But
because the players that you've been allowed to get to with these paths have also just smashed it at the same time. Like, so the people that set up for like this free hit, because free hit 29 could have gone one of 2 ways, right? Like, free hit 29 just went in as the worst week possible, right? Yes. It just happened. Like, if free hit 29 had been a 70-point week on average, we wouldn't be talking about this. If game week 34 had been 80 points rather than 160.
I'm going to slightly disagree. You wouldn't be talking about this because you would have done well. But we were still individuals. Like, literally, game week 6 wildcard, we were first cabs off the rank. Nobody else was doing it. Like, you go through any of the content creator leagues, you go through any of this stuff, realistically, like, hardly anyone did it. We went 2 weeks earlier, everybody else. But to be fair, like, the free hit 29, I think it's the content creators league, 3/4 of the content creators league free hit in 29. So it's not 80% of the game had free hit by 29, hadn't they?
Yeah.
That's not actually the be all end all of these ones, but because they also wild card in 8. There was a real spiral. If you look at the downward trend of where our seasons went, that early on, don't lay your hand down. Like, don't play it because it's so long before the next one, that you're already off the course. I saw one of my favorites. I've seen this, and I said I love this part. This is porn to me because you're in a really limited time when you can still see how people played the game. Like, once the season's over, you can't see it, but for now you can. FPL Research, and we'll show something from FPL Research in a sec, but FPL Research post their manager rankings, and what you can see is players that have done really well repeatedly, and it gives the IDs. I go look at those on FPL Optimized quite a lot. I was looking at one earlier. I think number one in the data rankings on review is a guy called Sam T. Don't think he's on Twitter. Ballsy as hell. He didn't wildcard at game week 17. He was dead level on his expected till game week 17. It's like a Grand National runner. Do you know what I mean? The one that's sitting in the pack is like, I'm doing nothing. Literally level. He was I think I'll get you the rating of his game week history, because this is just a magical thing to see. So, went without Haaland from game week 12 to 17, when Haaland double digited virtually every week. Was still getting battered. Was 357k in game week 15. Played the wild card, had a good week in 16. Immediately played the wild card. Left everything then late. Just basically said, I've got a 21-week season. Finished 16th. Jesus. Top of the data ranks. Just looked at it, looked at his path, got brave, and went, I'm just going to sit and go. But yeah, you can get the manager rankings off it. I will give the ID if anyone wants to. 8492 is Sam T's. It's stupendous to watch that kind of level of bravery, that you've just held on, because it is the guy that's had continually very, very good ranks. This is a guy that was 3K, 12K last season, 6K the season before, was 1 million in 2021, 1K, 3K. Like, he's had some unbelievable seasons, but to hold your nerve and then go and basically say, this is a 21-week season now, I'm going at it, it's pretty cool to watch some of the strategies that you can see that happened out there. Going late, so for you, for example, who likes to be aggressive, going late on the wild card is a good aggressive strategy. I'm not sure going early ever is.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And in my brain, I think one of the reasons why I did it early is I've had 3 years of really, really, really good starts, incredible starts to the season, and I didn't have the greatest start, and I think I just panicked and went, got to do it. I don't know that I could have sat like Sam and sat around at 350k after game week 17 whilst everyone else is battering into me and gone, I'll be okay. I'll trust myself on this one. But 16th.
But I mean, like, by the time he was 350k and just plodding around, I was 5 million. So it's completely.
Exactly. He'd managed to, because I imagine if you're like, that's what I'm going to do, you start planning to hold for that period of time and you just go, that's okay. Whereas me and you, we just scrambled from that game week 6. We just scrambled.
I mean, I know we're talking about pars, but there are very specific players that all just popped off and just continuously hit points.
Yeah.
And the problem with wildcard 6 was that Spurs played Arsenal in game week 6. They played Liverpool in game week 7. So didn't have Son, didn't have Porro. And after game week 7...
And took Maddo out. I took Maddo out as well. And obviously Maddo and Son went nuts.
And they just went... and Son and Porro, they just battered me. I didn't have Watkins for ages. I benched Foden's hat-tricks and then sold him. But
I reckon if we just worked out when our defined periods were and were tougher on when they would be, would have been harder on that. Would have been more resilient. Do do the bullet wisdom one for this.
Yeah.
So you might see this going around, but the top league is the analytics league, the bullet wisdom league. This is where I want to talk about that, is that everyone thinks, everyone thinks, you know, with analytics, there's a lot of like, just press the solve buttons and that's what I'll do. There is so much more variation in the analytics leagues. Look at our league. Just looked at our league. None of those guys are or girls are on this. But everyone just wildcard in 8, and a lot of people real template on it. They pushed the nobody pushed the boundary on bench boost 37 or triple captain. That was just a nail this season. Hopefully we'll see a bit more variation there, but no one messed with it. But they really messed around with that wildcard 1 and wildcard 2. I don't think I saw anyone bar the analytics guys where they've started pushing into game weeks 17, 18, 20. So for them, for the ones listening on this, is world number 1. Obviously, he did what I think is probably the best strategy that's worked in terms of paid, which is wildcard 8, 1, wildcard 2 and 30, free hit 34. Like I say, I don't think you see many bad seasons where someone's done that. But the next few, you know, wildcard 1 in 20, wildcard 1 in 18, wildcard 1 in 20, 17, a couple in 10s, another in 18. Oh, we're gone.
Yeah, we're gone. We're back though. We're back.
We're back?
Yeah, we're back. I know we're back. Don't worry.
Uh-oh. Yeah, so I'll go again with the tweet from Diltsey. As I said, after Spaceman did the Pop Assert out, which again is worth rewatching. Most people spend a lot of time assessing players, but most analytics managers spend most of their time thinking about the paths or the line that solvers generate. For example, in that, like, if I do this player, who does that mean I can't get in that week? And then who does that mean I can't get in the next week? And what does that mean I go to for the next one, and so forth?
It's funny.
This is fundamentally
I was
different.
just going to say, I remember this tweet. I actually remember this tweet.
This is a fundamentally different way of thinking, whereby a player's viability rests more on how they fit into and support the path we're trying to navigate towards.
Yeah.
The analysis and questions I might ask will be, for example, about the long-term expected minutes, the anticipated future trends, the robustness and flexibility, what position that line creates. And I was like, I get it. I thought, like, I get it. Like, that makes me think differently about what I'm seeing. And when you see these type of things here, this should, you know, open doors that this isn't just about working or everyone's got the same. There's so much more flexibility in terms of what we're seeing from these people, and rock stars turning up with top 10 and you know, but the top 10, 34, top 34 in the world. It's phenomenal. And they're raising the game. And then I saw from FPL Research, which is the other one, the scatter. I don't know. You know more about charts. What kind of chart is this?
It's a line graph, mate.
It's a line graph.
Literally a line graph.
Is that what this is?
Yeah.
You know, me and you have spent all season where we look at things. We've just literally just done it comparing ourselves to the prime. You know, there is a measure, which is the Elite 1000, which are the people that are putting on a review. I was in the Elite 1000. I will not be next season. I can guarantee you that much. But the Elite 1000, you know, seen as the median, the prime has got worse and worse against the Elite 1000 all season. So like you see this here, they've ended up 45 in front. So do you remember what I said earlier about like me being like plus 10, you being minus 40? Behind the prime.
Yeah.
If you're not beating the prime by 40, you're not going to catch the analytics guys.
Yeah.
Because Elite 1000 is beating prime by 40. So we got to be 40 and the rest. Now, obviously, this is the outcome. So I think if you can just play for like 40 plus on your expected, you got a chance to just take on these guys. But the analytics Elite 64 finished up 35 ahead of the Elite 1000. So that's 80 above prime on average. On average. That's absolutely insane. You know,
it's like they're playing with an extra game week and a bit.
Honestly. And all the rest. Guess what? They're in the chat. I can see him. Chris, Jack, These guys, they've had it. Like they're saying this, I'm giving them away. Like this, these are here to play, mate. This ain't going away. Like, be open to learn. How do I get myself 40, 50 expected above the prime?
Mm.
How do I play that? I don't think you can do it in a week to week basis. I think you've got to be thinking more 7, 8 weeks, like it's the old job, planning. And next season with lots of single game weeks, I actually think planning just becomes even more cool. Fixture swings, old school. It's old school, but with a new way of doing it because the computer can say, by the way, have you considered that by doing this move this week, you're going to find it harder to jump on that fixture swing in 3 weeks' time? And then we don't take as many hits because we both take too many hits. Way too many
How many hits did
hits.
you take this year?
I stopped. I actually was okay after the start, but the start was a problem. That game week 6, I couldn't cope. I spiraled, mate. I wildcarded in game week 6, and then I went hit, hit, no hit, hit, no hit, hit, 3 weeks of no hits, hit, no hit, hit, hit. Didn't do that many after that. I was pretty good. I was pretty good myself, but I ended up with what, about 11, 12?
Minus 48.
Too many.
Now I had 16.
Never had a -8. Didn't have a single -8 all season, yet still managed to. I'm basically hitting in a third of game weeks. You're never going to be 40, 50% expected above the prime if you're giving away 50, 60 points.
I had 4 -8s and a -12.
Yeah.
But
I
like,
just knocked mine out in
it's
singles.
weird. Like the -8. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The -12 allowed me to do something. I was positive on my transfers that week. I mean, maybe just because I'm looking at it in that week, that's the wrong way to look at it.
I don't know.
But
See, I did 11 singles. You know why 11 singles were? I wasn't happy with my team that week. Your -8s, -12s were almost always to reset the path. You
yeah,
did them for doubles. You did them to set you up when you knew that what the path was going to be for other people. I actually think, you hit miles better than I hit this season.
yeah. The -8 in game week 8 wasn't ideal. The -8 in game week 11 obviously sticks with me for various reasons. Because that was the Doku week. But in that scenario, I had Doku and James Ward-Prowse in my squad, which seemed really fucking stupid. But then I brought in Soboslai, and I was like, well, that's dumb, isn't it?
But yeah, all I'm saying, my take was, don't be afraid to reflect and look at this stuff. Especially if you had a good season as well, because when you're going to have a good season, you're going to go and look at these things, and it's going to say, my blue line's much more above my expected. Oh, I can't go tell Twitter I was lucky. Ignore the lucky. Look at what the expected was. Look at where you should have been. If you were in a position where you were 20, 30, 40 above the expected on prime, chances are you had a good season. These guys in the analytics, they eat +50s for breakfast, mate. Like they'll be doing that again next season. If you come in at +10 and you had a good season, you won't win that every year. Now that might not be the way for you. Like you, for example, like you were saying, is you're not necessarily in it to grind the EV every week. That's not really your way.
But it might be a case. But it might be a case that I just need to basically just sit with. And I think I've said this before: is just sit with the pack, just sit with everyone for half a season, and then start to. But then now with next season being, obviously we're going to have less doubles and things like that. My mind's going right. Do we bench boost game week 1, for example, and do we do this and that? Because does that become
back on the chip stuff? Like people like Praz does his chip videos and stuff like that. We want to listen to that because Praz is all in on it, mate. Like, he's the king on it. Praz taught me 2 magnificent things in these last few weeks. When in 37, I wanted Everton defender, and he just said, "Yeah, we'll just get Taco." And I was like, "No, I'm going Branth." I was like, "Why do you say Taco?" And he's like, "Mate, we've got 2 weeks to go. You need to get gains. Who's owned less?" I spend all my time thinking about and visualizing the player. And he was like, realistically, you should want an Everton defender for 1 week. Go the less owned. Just do it. Like, if I had, I'd have 3 more points. Guess what he did? When I did Elise this week,
he went
guess
Eze.
what he did?
Eze, yeah.
It's the same reason he did it. He knew that everyone had done that. And he was like, what's the play that could work the most? We don't control what happens and sometimes it pays. But he suggested to me Tarko over Brantford did it, and then he did it himself. Like, it's one thing suggesting it, but then to do it yourself, that's why he don't muck about. That's why he still ends up with these fantastic ones, because he's planning well, which then enables him to take a few more of those educated gambles. We're gambling and then gambling again. So there's some learned in it. What I messaged you some IDs earlier, didn't I?
You did. You did. What did you want me to do with
I
those?
didn't tell you why.
No, you
I
didn't.
messaged you
Do I
those
need to put them on
IDs,
screen or something?
You don't need to put it on screen. I'm going to mention the people's names. I want you to try and find two people.
You want me to
I want you
find
to
them?
try and find two
I
people.
don't understand what you mean by find.
So on season review, on FPL review, you get doppelgangers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I found the two highest doppelgangers who are also in the above average FPL league,
Okay.
which suggests they have an element of aligned thinking and they also like us. And I'm like, you should try and reach out to them. For example, so I'm really good friends with FPL Richard. I'm really good friends with Zoff. Two of the reasons why I'm really good friends with them is I'm always doppelgangers with them. I think mostly very, very similar to the, my brother from another mother's off, just, done me dirty and just still gets another top 6K because he ain't mucking around at 120K like me. But the top two is Goran Eliasson. His team name is Electric City Eagles.
Okay.
He is in our league, and he's Swedish.
Yeah.
And Braden Hale, PK Blinders, Canadian. They are in our league, and they are doppelgangers. That means they're in the Elite 1000.
Yeah, I can see him. I'm looking at it.
Both had good seasons. I'm going to encourage you to have a chat with them because they're more likely to see the game a bit more like you, and bounce off some people that are elite nerds. Either that, or we just both of us. I mean, Chris and Jack are in the chat. Maybe they should just partner us for next season. Maybe we should just get Chris and Jack along, and they've both finished in the top. They're both in that league that we've shown.
Yeah.
I haven't shown you, but they are both in that bloody league. The bastards. Top fair in the world. What up, boys? And maybe they can mentor us in the analytical ways. So yeah.
So that's it.
We were unlucky though.
We were very unlucky.
We can claim that.
And I'm still gonna focus on the players. I
think you always will, but I think that's like I say, I think it's okay to focus a lot more on the players, but then maybe don't also take the chance on the
chips.
On the chips.
Just fall in
But
line.
also, even within the past, like just do it more weeks in advance. Start thinking, right, who do I want? Oh, I like that fixture swing in game week 14. I want X for game week 14. I think me and you, we both get it and go, well, I want this player, so I'm going to get him this week. I can't wait.
There is a bit of that. There is a bit of that.
Yeah. I get so focused on the player that I've got in my mind. Like I say about that Isak one, like you obviously regret it once the player, but I convinced myself all week that I was taking on Newcastle, so I was always benching Isak. No point did I consider once I knew Isak was playing of, oh, maybe he's a better option than Nico Jackson, because he's been a better option than Nico Jackson all season.
Yeah, there is that.
Why would I bench Isak for Nico Jackson?
Fixture?
Especially once I knew Sterling was playing as well.
So how much of that?
Actually,
how much
did
we know?
We didn't know
Sterling until lineup.
We knew Isak. Yeah, we did know Isak.
But we knew Isak through a source that had been repeatedly wrong. We just got royally fucked over on the Newcastle news.
Yeah.
Just mainly because the guy that's been wrong all season and right sometimes got it right this time.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it was carnage. Yesterday was Yesterday was just like the worst of it for leaks because we got all sorts of bad stuff. Saka was starting, Saka was bench, Saka was out the squad. In the last half hour before the deadline, Saka was all three of those.
Yeah.
Like it was absolutely insane.
Yeah, that is insane. I mean, that is if you had Saka,
It's mad. And then
it is
and then
mad.
obviously Newcastle. Like you never trust Newcastle news. Like I think that's a learning for me. Just never trust Newcastle news.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Lucian says that guy who put out there. The funny thing is, isn't it? Will didn't tell us that Isak was benched, did he?
No.
So Will's been around all season. Will's been around all season. But some other person who we've never taken a leak from in our entire life told us that Isak was benched, and we accepted it.
Yeah.
No one verified it, did they?
I don't know. I don't know where it came from.
Football Joe or something like that, wherever it was.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of that account in my life. I genuinely had never, ever, ever heard of that person. Yet as soon as they tweeted it, because I wanted it to be true. Because I wanted to bench Isak. I was like, yes.
We talked about it on Thursday. We were talking about the narratives that we were all going to build for game week 38. And as soon as you had that in your mind,
we did.
We did. What became on screen became truth to you. And and that's why I took him out as well. That's even why I took him out. Like, why didn't I take out Jackson for
oh mate, don't pretend like
not at one point did I ever consider it.
Never considered it. But never obviously, whilst walking the dogs this morning, I suddenly imagine if I just done Jackson to Mateta.
Yeah.
And then I'd have played Isak and had,
but like
30 odd extra points.
We could almost say imagine if we'd have just brought in Mateta, Elise, and Eze in game week 34 and left them. Like I would probably have 100 more points now.
I just see it in the chat. FPL Bandit said, I bet the hardcore analytics guys never make last minute transfers. It's completely the opposite. One of the things on FPL Review is that it shows you
your transfer
average time.
Yeah.
Do you know what your average time for doing a transfer is?
Is this my team I'm looking at? Yeah, my average time. So
Mine
my latest,
absolutely.
My median time is 28 hours before.
28 hours. Bloody hell.
Well, my earliest transfer was 299
Matty Cash. You transferred him out during the game because he fouled Bentancur.
That might have been it. Yeah, that might have been it. But my latest transfer was 17 seconds before the deadline. And that only puts me in like the 89.3%.
My median transfer was 12 and a half hours. That puts me in the bottom 18% compared to the Elite 1000. Anyone thinks like we are amateurs doing transfers 12 hours before. Amateurs. My latest was 5 minutes before the deadline.
Yeah.
Never got to a 10:58, 10:59. Never got anywhere near that.
I know for a fact that 17-second one is the Doku one. It's the game week 11 Doku transfer.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Oh yeah, of course it is. Oh yeah.
At a fucking kids party, just like, I need to get this done now. Shit. Do I get him out? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But any more questions? If anyone wants to give us some more questions, because we'll be back when it's time to look at teams and look at players, best keepers, best defenders, best from this team and that team.
Promoted sides.
Yeah, we will hit pre-season hard. That's what we do.
But we want 6 weeks off. So if you've got questions, ask them now.
You know what we'll do? Is we'll hit pre-season hard and then not panic for all that bloody good work and wild card early.
That'd be nice. That would be nice. Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's all I want from life. Not bloody panicking and wild card early. Season is not done in game week 6.
Did I put it on here? Any big transfers that we think will happen this summer?
So, What you said about Salah, you don't think Salah will be there?
I don't think Salah will be in the Premier League.
No, I think he'll go. I think the Palace ones is really interesting because it's such a big thing for FPL, and it like as soon as you take if one of the three goes,
We've
what's the
seen,
impact?
we've
If
seen, we've
two of the
seen,
three goes, what's the impact? And
we've seen the impact already. Like we've seen the impact in like in like how Palace have played this season, right? And there's been times where even in the last 10 weeks where Elise has started but Eze hasn't, and Eze started but Elise hasn't, because of obviously coming
Hmm,
back from injury. Mateta's pretty much been a constant, although Edouard's just been there as well. And
yeah,
I think Edouard started the
Mateta,
season all right, didn't he? But
yeah, Mateta might be our new Ollie Watkins though to an extent because like is remember Watkins' first season with Grealish where he ends up with what 180 I think he got ended up in terms of points, and I think as soon as Grealish went it was like I'm not sure about that, um, but they're going to get money. Glasner only knows one way, which is to play good football, good attacking, aggressive football.
yeah. Just on the
I
quick thing
expect them to buy.
on the Salah thing, he's tweeted an hour ago saying, "We know that trophies are what count, and we'll do everything possible to make that happen next season. Our fans deserve it, and we will fight like hell." So maybe he won't be leaving.
Maybe you won't believe it.
Maybe he won't be leaving. Yeah. Do you think the Victor Osimhen to Chelsea
Osman?
happens?
Nah.
You just think
I
they
just
they
can't believe that.
bank on
I,
Nkunku?
I just cannot believe that Chelsea can have any money this summer. I refuse to believe it. Where does the money come from?
Well, wherever it needs to, I guess. Just amortize it over 7 years. Job done. Look,
Sell some training grounds.
if they sell, yeah, if they sell Gallagher, for example, if they sell Gallagher, like that just frees up money, right?
Frees up some money, but how much money is it going to free up? Last year of his contract. Like I know we've been talking about it. Villa apparently have been looking. Apparently Villa are now looking at Ross Barkley.
I saw that, yeah,
Going.
which was
So
odd.
I can only imagine if they're going for Ross Barkley, that means that they're not going for Conor Gallagher.
But that feels like a squad bulking out type move, definitely. Like they need a bigger squad, Villa, to
Yeah,
deal with the Champions League for sure, because it's
yeah.
going to be like 8 games or whatever.
But
Mr. Lewis,
yeah, they've
go on.
it's going to be interesting. Like I don't even know with Arsenal. Obviously, Arsenal have got to pay the Raya money now.
Yeah,
They haven't paid that yet. The 27 million, whatever that
yeah, but
is. They've got to pay that.
they've just finished back to back seconds. They've got Champions League football again. It can't be that hard now, surely, for them to
I
stump up
think they
that.
probably have to sell like Gabriel Jesus to be able to buy something
Is
in
that a
return.
huge
I
deal?
imagine. No.
It
I don't think
probably
it's
isn't a
yeah,
big
but
deal.
still think they'd want like 50 million for
Yeah,
Jesus. I
true,
imagine.
true.
Um,
Mr. Lucian said the FPL when he used FPL review. Yeah, definitely,
yes, 100%.
100%. There's questions about any players you regret holding on to for so long in hindsight.
I had a quick look at this in terms of some players. The old Anupla,
I went on it earlier. Yeah,
just to see like players that I had a lot that did badly for me. They're the ones I like to see and say, what was I doing? My big regret on it is that my big regret for the season is the double Arsenal defense. Just didn't do it for long enough. It effectively, I only owed I owed Saliba for more than I owed Gabriel, which was a huge cost because I missed the Gabriel hauls. Um, again, because I wildcarded in 6
hmm
and went early. Um, so Saliba, I had 21 games of him, and I had 12 of Gabriel, so 33 games in total. But I had some kind of weird perversion with Share. I just kept getting him back. Didn't matter how many times he would get injured or miss stuff. I played him 11 times. How the hell did I have Share for 11 game weeks? 3.5 points a time. Never treated me well. Um, I should have just had an extra. I should have just had 25 game weeks each at Saliba and Gabriel this season. We're not going to get them at that price, and next season it'd be interesting to see how people go with that for them. But yeah, definitely a Newcastle defense in general. I would say, Dubravka, Share.
I mean, Dubravka was supposed to be like they were supposed to be the best defense when Pope got injured, but that was the problem. Is
Trippier obviously
Pope got
one fell off a cliff,
injured,
got injured,
Trippier,
and then Botman
and then Botman,
got
yeah,
injured. Yeah, we just stuck with it. Yeah, it's fine. Just keep going with it. Burn was out for 3 months. Yeah, just keep going with it.
Alvarez was the one for me because I
Alvarez,
got onto Alvarez at the back end of his hot run, and then I just held him, and then I held him until he became popular again. Averaged
yeah,
4.7 points over 20 games, which is like 20 games of Alvarez is insane.
20 games is a lot for a striker to have that kind of.
Like, and I had 27 games of Haaland, so I had a lot of double Man City, which then meant that I couldn't really
Yeah,
do much with Foden. I mean, I had Foden for half the season, but
yeah,
I only averaged five
yeah.
points a game with Foden.
Oh, I was 7.5 for Foden.
So
Yeah, Foden was good to me.
yeah,
I should have been good to him and given the cap at the end of the season. But yeah, definitely Newcastle defence. I should have just avoided them. Way too much Man United. Keepers in general, I just didn't get keepers. I don't know if keepers would have been right all season, but when you look at it, every keeper I've got average no more than like 3.5 points per season. What I did notice that the guy said earlier that Sam T, he held Pickford for the first 17 weeks of the season.
yeah. So we got
So
all of the cleans at the back end
he
of
got
that.
all the cleans at the back end of that.
Mm.
Done him an absolute treat. It really did. 153 points from Pickford this season. That's really good. I mean, keepers in general has been a disaster this season.
Yeah,
I think maybe we should have picked up early on that it's not played out in the saves and the bonus, all this extra injury time. It's not played out. You used to be able to say, well, a keeper will get you 4 points a game regardless. They'll all end up about the same. There's only Pickford that's averaged 4 points a game this season. It's the only keeper in the entire league. Raya, best defense in the league, 135 points.
yeah. It's not many.
It's not
It's not
many, is
great.
it? I know obviously Alisson's not played them all, but 107 points. Vicario's played every game, 112 points.
Yeah, it's shit, isn't it? It's bad.
It's shit, mate. Emmy, 115,
But then,
Edison, 112.
but then we pretty much went Areola Dubravka, right? And that was because it was 4 and 3.9, right? So we were kind of just shoehorned into that.
Yeah,
In the
maybe
end.
I beat myself up a bit again about my keepers being crap. If they're all crap, then
They were all crap, and you spent the least amount of money you could on them. So it wasn't that bad.
so we were right.
Yeah, keepers are fine. Keepers weren't a big
Keepers
deal.
are fine.
Who do you think will get a big juicy price rise? I heard them talking about this on the FPL pod earlier, and I heard the little clip that they released on X, and they were talking about what they thought Palmer would come in at. The first one said 8.
What?
And then Sam said no, it's going to be higher. It's going to be like 9.95. Like he's going to be 11 million.
I'm almost certain it's 10.5. Because KDB's 10.5 this season starting this, and it's like 10.5.
Yeah, but he's not KDB. He's more Salah, right?
Yeah.
Like
I think he's got to be that it puts a few people off, but most still get him. I'm 10.5 or 11. If it's less than 10,
but he will be the
point?
second. Like what's Salah going to be? Like okay, let's go back and say Salah's going to stay. Like what's Salah now then? Salah must come down after 210 points.
It'll still be 12.
So Salah will be 12. Plays right forward.
I mean, what's Foden is the question. 8.5 this season.
He's got to be 10.
30 points.
10.
You want to see, you really want to see 10 for Saka, 10 for Foden,
10 for Son,
for Palmer,
10.5
10 for Son.
Yeah, 10 for Son, 10.5 for Palmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real divide from the 200 pointers. Palmer, Foden, Saka, Son, Salah. We've got 5, but people were able to afford that whole midfield. What a stupid season where you were able to afford. Like people had weeks where we had Palmer, Foden, Saka, Son, Salah. 5 200 pointers.
Yeah, because Palmer was 4.9 when everyone got him in.
Yeah. I'd like to see some good. Obviously, Havertz be a striker.
Havertz will be
Has to be a striker. has to be a striker. And anything under 9.5 for Havertz, be interested in that, because how much extra bonus is he going to get?
Yeah,
He's in. Definitely gives him a chance.
Well, so
Gordon would be an interesting
picking
one.
it up. He was picking it up at this end of the back end of the season as a midfielder.
We said we wouldn't do this, but
Yeah,
now
okay.
we're doing it. Gordon 7.5.
Yeah, feels fine.
Feels fine. It feels okay.
Yeah, feels okay. 7.5.
Real tester. 7.5 for a guy with no set pieces is tough. Mind you, Trippier might not be there. He might have the set pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be really hard to put Son in your game week 1 team. But you don't know what the fixtures will be, do you?
No, it's fixtures. It's fixtures. I think there's no locks in the team until fixtures are out.
What about Watkins? Because he'll be at Villa.
So he'll probably be 10, I would say. 10.
Would you take that on with a Champions League season?
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah, I think you can.
I think you can. I expect Jackson to go up a little bit, and I still expect Darwin to go up a little bit. I expect them to both go up like 0.5.
Darwin got 132 points this season. But you mind about Alvarez? Alvarez got 158 points.
He was 6. What was he, 7?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Carlton, still remember these cheapo promoted strikers. Carlton Morris tucks away with 146 points this season.
There is always one, but you have to be able to pick the one, because like Cameron Archer probably got about 70 points, didn't he? Brereton Diaz 70 points.
But pens.
Brereton Diaz 70 points.
Promoted. Yeah, but Brereton Diaz only joined in January.
Wow,
it's pretty good.
It's not bad. Okay. Will any Leicester Ipswich worth with that? Yeah, probably. There probably will be someone in there. I mean, I think the warning on Ipswich is that everyone's just lauding how they play football in the Championship, when everyone lauded over Burnley this season. And
luckily,
they just got pumped.
Our friend Ivan, who always starts the season off with us,
yeah, he can come and tell us about Ipswich.
So we will definitely be tapping up Ivan. He has got some holiday just before the start of the season, so we're going to have to go early with him.
That's fine.
He's joined us for the launch before. Yeah. We can use him again.
Yeah. I think we should leave it there, mate. I think we should leave it there.
We'll leave it there. So when do we do another pod?
So our next pod will be when the game gets announced, I guess. Or when
There's no chance. There's no chance we're waiting that long. We will find some. We'll miss each other too much,
mate.
We'll get lonely.
I'm not doing any content.
We're not doing Euro content.
No Euro content. I just want to watch England in my house in Scotland, and just.
I want to just enjoy football. Do you know what I mean? I do think that this season, with the amount that we watch Premier League, I hardly watched any Championship football. I hardly watched any other leagues whatsoever.
I hardly watched any Champions League football. This is the least amount of Champions League football I've watched in
comfortably the least amount of Champions League
10 years. And that's like, I'll still even watch the semis, and I'd always watch like quarters, semis, even obviously Tottenham already knocked out and stuff like that. So it's not just because Spurs are out of it. I just haven't watched it.
I literally watched Champions League football for Premier League reasons. That was the only reason I watched it.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch it to see what City were doing. I wanted to watch to see if I got any reads on Arsenal. You know, that was it really. I don't feel like I enjoyed enough football outside the Premier League. So I would like this summer for the Euros. Let's enjoy it.
Yeah, sounds good. And I guess we should once again thank everyone that's joined us this season. I was going to very quickly reel off the guests that we've had. So I didn't do this yesterday, I don't think. But I have no idea. But maybe I'm repeating myself. But we had FPL Harry on, we had Spaceman, we had Praz, we had Andy Mears, Mark Southerns, we had Luke on, Jan came on at the start of the season, FPL team Peter, Hibbo, Alon, Danny joined us 3 times. Andy North joined us 2 more times. We had the extra inch guys on twice. Nima joined us at the start of the season. We had Rich Clark and we had Ivan. And that was our guest list for this season.
Rogues Gallery. The Rogues Gallery. A few new boys.
Yep.
No new girls this season. No new girls this season.
No, we must do something with Lee and Sam. Definitely.
Yes, we've talked about doing something with Lee and Sam from FPL Family
So
for a long
Lee,
time.
Sam, if you're watching, we'll do some pre-season.
Yes. Always difficult that we both stream Sunday nights, but definitely.
Such is life.
Definitely should.
Cool. Guys, thanks very much for your support this season. We really appreciate it. It's been emotional, mate.
It's our pod, our emotions.
Our pod, our emotions. Cheers, man.